Alright, welcome back to our Flashy Ubuntu Online HTML tutorial series. Today, we're going to enhance the styling of our HTML content by exploring inline styles and external style sheets. It may sound confusing, may sound overwhelming, don't worry. Basically, we're going to be able to make this look a lot better. It's how you add colors, how you reshape, resize, things like that. We'll start by separating some of our content into individual paragraphs. Let's go ahead and dive in. If you're just joining the series, you can go back to the beginning and see this is our HTML boilerplate, just our basic fundamental website or web page that we started out. And our current HTML, we're going to split this content up a little bit. If you notice on the page, check out this image is now in its own paragraph. We'll go ahead and view the source code just to show you. We have made a modification. We added check out this image in its own paragraph, the image's own paragraph, and now the link is in its own paragraph. So we're starting there. That is a little bit different from the last video. Now we want to add a background color and change the font color of the body, the whole web page. And in order to do that, this is what we call an inline style. We're going to start with the style keyword, and then we're going to do background color. And we're going to make that a basic dark gray, which I happen to know is the number 3333. Don't worry about learning this just yet. This is a hexadecimal value that represents tons and tons of colors. I just happen to know this one's a dark gray. And another example would be 6 zeros would be all black. So we've got the background color set to dark gray. We're going to put a semicolon, and now we're going to change the color, which represents font and text color, to hashtag FFFFFF, which is white. Now we don't have to add the last semicolon here, but it's good practice to do so because when you have more than one style directive, you need to separate them with semicolons. So this adds a background color of dark gray and a color of white to the text. We'll go ahead and save that, bring back up FileZilla, and we will upload and update the website. We'll show you that change. That is done. We'll come back to the main page, we'll hit refresh, and now you can see the text is in white and the background is gray. Oh, and we've reverted back to how the image is now outside or in the same paragraph. So we want to fix that. We'll go ahead and change that in the code. So we'll see here, check out this image and the image itself are in the same paragraph. We want to go ahead and bring that into its own paragraph, which means we need to close the first paragraph around this text. So the closing p tag, open a new p tag. This is the closing for the image, and then we'll save that. We'll update, and you'll see once again everything stacks. Now this is a little bit big, so we want to adjust the size. We're going to do an inline style on the size of this image. We want to set the style for the height, actually the maximum height, so we'll put style equals max hyphen height. Then we're a colon, and we're going to put maximum of 100 pixels. Now what this does is it sets the height maximum to 100 pixels, and without anything else it makes the width automatic, so we'll maintain the same aspect ratio. So now we have that style set. We'll update that. And we'll go back to our page and hit refresh, and there we go. Now we can zoom back in to 100%, and it looks much nicer. We can actually see our link again. So let's change the color of this link next. We want to make that white as well, so we can come to the A tag either before the href, before the title, or at the end. We'll do it at the end. We're going to do style equals, and we're going to make the color, we'll make that white as well, hashtag FFFFFF, And just so you know, you can abbreviate anything that is the same letter or all 6 numbers with just 3, but just know it's a hexadecimal and it is supposed to be all 6. We'll hit save. We'll update that. And back to our page. When we refresh this time, now our text is white as well. Now there are CSS commands to take out the underline, to fatten this up and make it bold. There's a lot of things we can do, and we'll cover that in future tutorials. But for right now, I just wanted to show you basic inline styles. We can set the styles right here in our HTML. Now, one way we don't really want to do that. We want to use what is called an external style sheet. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, it takes away all this clutter that's in here and puts it into a separate folder over here. And then we can call that in the head on any web page in our website. So we only have to type the styles for certain elements one time. So we're going to add a new folder. We're going to call it CSS. This is basically a standard. And inside that folder, we're going to create a new file. We're going to call it styles.css. Make sure I spelled that right. We'll save it. Alright, and then we no longer need that. So then in the styles or CSS folder, we now have styles.css. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our index page. We're going to remove these 2 styles from the body. And we no longer need the style attribute or quotes. We're going to save that. We'll go back to our styles, and we're going to call the body with an open bracket, open curly bracket, and then we're going to paste in our styles. Now you can leave them like this, but it's best practice to actually put each style on a new line. So now we've pulled the styles we had set from the body over to an external style sheet here. Now this would be called from the header, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, on any page that we call it from, and we won't have to change that in the body. It will work on every page in the website. So we'll continue on by removing the style for the image and put that into the external style sheet. And we do so by calling the image curly braces. We'll set that max height there. And we'll come back and we'll grab this link style, which is right here. Pull that out and get rid of the style attribute. And same process here for the A tag, curly braces, and we want it to be the color F. Now we do not have to put the trailing semicolon, but it's good practice to do so, because when you come in to add additional things, like say we want to take the underline off. So we'll do text decoration, none. We don't want the underline. That will also take the underline off of the text link. You don't have to do that, but just to demonstrate. Remember, we want to separate each command, and we want to use a semicolon at the end. Okay, so now we've got all that saved. It makes it much easier to read here to see the basic information we need, and it can all be called to other pages too, so we don't have to retype this every time we build a new page. Now, in order to add this into our HTML page, we want to come up here below the title, before the end of the header tag or the head tag. We're going to open up not meta or title, but we're going to call this a link, and then we need a relationship equals style sheet, and then the href, excuse me, the reference to the file source is CSS styles.css. Alright, we'll close that tag. So now we have the directive in the head section calling the style sheet before the body content is loaded, and it's going to use our style sheet that we've created. So let's go ahead and upload and see how this works. Now what you notice here is I did not refresh the page, or it's broken because I did not refresh FileZilla before I uploaded, so I only uploaded images and indexes, what we already had there. When I refresh this, now the CSS folder shows up, and that's why it's broken, because we're missing that new section. So we're going to go ahead and upload that. Now you can see it's all included. We'll come back to our website, we'll hit refresh, and there you go. Everything is being called from that external source. I'll show you in the page source. Here is your style sheet. If you click on that, it shows our directives. Come back to the main. This is still a link, it's still clickable, but it's no longer underlined. Everything's white and the background is dark gray. That's pretty much it. We will be using this a lot throughout building our web page and learning more HTML, but this is the fundamental place to begin. Thanks for watching. If you find this useful, please like and subscribe, and feel free to share. Flashy Ubuntu out.